I don't think the kids will understand the pain. You only had 24 photos.
I don't shoot just to shoot. Like, I wait for the moment.
How do you train to be able to get these shots?
They always ask you, how do you get those photos? Are you a surfboard?
Welcome to Brandventures, and get ready for an exciting adventure into the world of brand innovation on the Brandventures Podcast. Hey guys, welcome to the Brandventures, the show that's going to take you into the world of adventurous brands. I'm your host Gustavo, and today we have Maria Fernanda Bastidas. She's a big wave surfing photographer who's been around the world in the craziest, biggest waves ever. Nazaré, Pipeline, Escondido. And we brought her here today to hear about her story. So welcome to the Brandventures, Maria.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. What are you doing? Where are you at right now?
I just got back to Mexico City. I was the last month and a half in Portugal and Spain.
Nice. What are you doing?
First, I went to Nazaré to shoot there for some weeks. And then I went to Spain I gave a workshop, a Sur Photography Workshop. And then back to Portugal to Ericeira to give another workshop / retreat.
So tell me, how did you get into this big wave surfing?
It's a long story. I grew up in the city, landlocked in Mexico City. But I was a swimmer since I was a young girl. And I swam all through high school until I got to college. And then I focused on my studies. But then when I graduated from my bachelor's, I traveled to Hawaii. And that's where I met surf photographer Peter Sterling. And he kind of gave me that introduction into surf photography and what I, now turned into my life, I guess.
Tell me a little bit about your mentor.
I guess being a swimmer for most of my childhood / teenage years helped a lot. And then, I was good in the water, I was comfortable swimming and just being in the ocean, but I didn't know about currents. I didn't know about, how the wind and the swells and everything works and how it affects a wave. So I had a lot to learn. And that's kind of what this mentor did for me. It's he would make me sit and just look at the waves for a while and try to visualize myself out there and where I would position myself and see the surfers, how they go in and how they use the channels and all that. And so that helped me, to gain some knowledge on how the ocean works and how I could use it to my favor. And it also helped that I started hanging out with a bunch of bodyboarders over there in Hawaii. So I think they also kind of shaped who I am now and my love for bigger waves, I guess.
Tell me about the first time that you actually brought a camera inside the water. How was that experience?
So it was actually with this with the surf photographer that he told me, if you can take a good photo with a disposable waterproof camera, then you can take a good photo with anything. And so that was the first time I actually took photos. I literally went to the convenience store and bought one of those disposable cameras.
I don't think the kids will understand the pain. You only had 24 photos. That's all you get.
Yeah. So, but you know what? It makes you actually capture what is important, place more intention into your photos. So I think that's good. I think I see that in me now that I don't shoot just to shoot. I wait for the moment. And I'm also not good, or I don't like sitting in the computer and editing thousands of photos. So I rather have a few,
I
don't know, hundreds but not more than 1,000, And I think that helped. It's just okay, what do you really want to shoot and what is worth shooting, and just aim at that, and not just photograph anything you see.
And a big part of surfing is waiting for the right moment and being in the right place. So even if you take 1,000 pictures, it doesn't really matter because you're waiting for that one moment where the barrel's curling, the guy's already paddling. Um, so positioning is everything.
For sure. Yeah.
And how did those photos come out?
I remember when I first got them, it's like you go get them and you're like, oh, this is so cool. But now I actually saved them. Like I have
Yeah.
them somewhere. Yeah, I don't even know where they are, but I was cleaning my room some months ago and I found them. I was like, oh, this is cool that I saved them, to see how far I've gone. You also don't have, like that possibility of playing with the lens and all these things. So I don't know. I think it's cool to see how or like what my eye wanted to capture back then. And I remember it was at Haleiwa, and obviously it wasn't a big day, but it was interesting. It was like I think that helped me, in my way of shooting nowadays.
Okay, and what do you use now?
I use a Nikon D800, which is really old still. I need to change my gear, but I love it and I'm so used to it. And I like the housing and, they don't do those housings anymore. So for now, I use that one. I also have a Sony for when I shoot video mostly.
Okay.
Because I don't like the quality of the photos with my Sony. I like Nikon better. Or I guess I'm just used to it now.
What's the difference between like shooting video and shooting photos?
I would describe myself as a photographer. I not ever say that I'm a videographer. I have shot some videos, but first of all, I don't think I like editing videos. I mean, I don't like editing videos. I don't even know like it. And the other is I like the fact that in a photograph, you capture a moment, an emotion, everything in just like, a moment. And it's just there for you to imagine and to feel and everything, but it's the same image. And then with video, I guess it's more like self-explanatory, and it tells you more and it's moving. And I guess it would be more fleeting. I don't know. I mean, it also makes you feel more, I guess. But I guess photo, it makes you use your imagination a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that. Video is more about the whole action, right? And it's less time to think.
Yeah, exactly. Like in the photo, you can be hours just looking the same image. And then the video, I don't know, it's like a few minutes or a few moments. And then that's it. It's like you don't rewatch it 1,000 times, but a photo, you can rewatch it 1,000 times.
What would you say excites Maria the most?
The ocean. I like being in the ocean. It's like, I remember a friend told me, he's like, oh, so you love taking photos. I'm like, I don't know if I would say that. I don't think I love taking photos, but I think the ocean excites me so much. And, the power of it, the beauty of it, the adrenaline that, it causes. So I like to photograph that. It's not like I see other photographers that just go outside, on the streets and they're always carrying their camera and they love and enjoy taking photos. And I don't consider myself like one of those photographers, it's like I don't go through the streets taking photos. But when I'm in the ocean, I'm like, oh, I wish I had my camera, because I think I enjoy those moments that much that I just want to capture them and just want to freeze them.
For me, is the excitement of doing something that you love and then capturing images. Sometimes you gotta weigh one out. You gotta say, do I rather be enjoying this adventure, or do I want to enjoy taking a photograph of something? Yeah. Sometimes it goes together, but sometimes you need to separate those.
Yeah, for sure.
What would you say has been like the most rewarding picture you've ever taken?
But that is a really good question. I always have like they always ask me the question, like, what's your favorite photo? But the most rewarding, that is different.
Yeah.
I think, because like people lately ask me, what is your favorite photo? And I know, it's like, I instantly think about
Yeah.
this photo in Puerto Escondido of Greg Long, that it's such a cool angle and everything. But honestly, I don't know if the most rewarding. Like, I remember how excited I was when I got it, but I wasn't planning for it. So that's why I don't consider it rewarding. It's like, it just came to me and I was there to capture it, but I wasn't really looking for that photo. So that's why I wouldn't call it rewarding. So
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get those surprises, right? Maybe
yeah,
it was it's happened to me. Maybe it's not the best shot, but the conditions made it so that it was an amazing feeling, or maybe unexpectedly, people picked it up, or someone was happy about it.
yeah.
What do you think?
Well, you know what? I think rewarding, I would say probably it's not even of a wave breaking or a surfer or anything, but it's like this photo I just took Nazaré, and it's just this wave hitting the cliff and splashing over. And I think it's just because of what it took for me to be there, And I think that's why it's the most rewarding one. So it's just, I hate cold water. And I remember the first time I went to Nazaré was in 2019, and I said, I don't like this place. It's too cold. I'm not coming back. And here I am again, like going back, and I am obsessed with this place now, and it's like, it's just the ocean at its finest, it's like all this energy, all this raw, everything happening. So I think it was like a lot of things and people and things aligning for us to be in the water this past huge swell that they had. It was like a storm, and it's like everyone's talking about the world record that might happen, and very few people went in the water, because the water was crazy. And I remember telling my friend, like, I want to be in the water, and she's like, why do you want to go in the water? Like, no one wants to surf today. I was like, I don't know, I just want to be there, I want to feel the energy, even though it's in the ski, because it's so big that you cannot really be swimming or paddling or anything. So she's like, but why? And so at the end, we finally got the okay to go out, because you go out in teams. And so the leader of the team was like, okay, you girls can come in the evening, that it's a little safer. And I think it was just like everything working out for us to be out there. And it was such a like magical moment for me that I think that's why it's the most rewarding.
Hey guys, I just want to remind you that this show is being put on by GP5 Production. It's a production company that specializes in outdoor and adventure content for your brand. If you want to find more information, click the link below, book a call with us, and we'll be happy to hear your projects and ideas and see if we can help you. Thanks. Describe to me what's the feeling of being in Nazaré, inside the water with these huge waves.
It's kind of surreal, it's like something at least for me, it's something that my mind is not used to, because I'm always used to be by myself and like kind of just trying to rely on my training and on my body, on what I can do. And so being out there, you have to be relying on a machine, like the jet ski, and you have to be relying on like your team and your driver and all this people, and not just on yourself. So that is kind of different for me. And also I feel like I don't get that scared. Like, you see, it's like massive waves, but I guess like your brain doesn't really, I don't know. I mean, it is scary, but not as scary as I was swimming by myself. I don't know, something like that. There's a lot of people around and like a lot of jet skis. So I guess that helps as well. It's like if something happened, there's people watching, people, in like the walkie-talkies, like talking to each other and like seeing what's happening in the back, and like the waves it's like a lot of logistics, and so that kind of helps, I guess.
I think it'll be something like the flow state, right? You're in a flow state. You're not thinking about your problems on land. You only got to worry about one thing, and everything just kind of feels easier, right? Or easier to manage. You're out in the water. You just need to be safe, the safe as possible, and then, but now you have a camera. When you have a camera, it's not that easy to swim, is it?
True. No.
So
So
how does that work? I mean, obviously not in Nazaré because you have to be on a jet ski, but when you're on the water, how do you what's your strategy to carry the camera and swim effectively?
yeah, at the beginning, so I come from a swimming background, right? And I'm used to not wearing fins, because you swim in a pool without fins, and you're used to swimming with your both arms. So the dynamics change a little bit when you go into the ocean, like you said, with one hand holding the camera. That's about 5 kilos, and it's very heavy, but at the same time it floats. So it's not sinking, it can float, but what happens when a wave comes that, it's big, mine at least is aluminum, so it's metal, can hit you, and like it's heavy. But at the same time, I have fins that I'm not usually, or I wasn't used to use. And so I'm swimming way faster and relying on my legs mostly. So I guess it was just like a change of like mindset on how I was going to move, in the water now. So now I have two more powerful legs and one arm, and then the other arm is always holding the camera. And it's just like a matter of being safe, holding that weapon. It can be a weapon in the water, if it hits you, you literally can knock yourself out and you're done. So it's just like a matter of place. Where are you placing it? When the wave comes, or how is it helping you to swim or advance, or at least not helping, but not being, like it's something that's just keeping you from swimming faster, or moving to the places that you want to be.
What has been the most scary situation that you've had in the ocean?
So I remember when I was starting, there was one time that I honestly thought I was going to drown. I was like, it was also the beginning where I didn't prioritize on like training or like, breathe work and apnea and all this, things that can definitely help you to improve your performance in the water. And I remember it was like a 5-wave set, and I was on the 4th. I was like, okay, I can't, I don't have any more air. So I came up to breathe, dive again. And I remember thinking, I was like, God, please help me, like come on the other side, and hopefully there's no other waves, because if not, I'm not going to make it. Like I remember seeing it super close, and that was it. That was the last wave, thank God, because I was done. I was out of air and I couldn't.
Where was this?
In Hawaii.
I can relate to that feeling. I do a little bit of surfing. I'm not that great, but I paddle out and I do my thing, and it's always that excitement of like, for me at least, when you're a beginner, you're really scared. You're really scared of that because you don't know how the ocean's gonna react, what you're supposed to do. Especially if you don't have haven't done any training or anything.
Yeah.
But I can relate to that. You're on your 3rd wave, the thing is gonna explode. You're like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. But really, your body is capable of a lot more. Like you said, if you train your mind, then you can accomplish a lot more. How do you train to be able to get these amazing shots?
Well, cardio. First of all, cardio is so good. It's like it just keeps you in shape. And then a lot of swimming. If you're gonna be swimming out there, then you have to be swimming. And there's months, or several weeks where I'm in the city, so I don't have an ocean to go swim. So I just go swim at the pool and try to do my own kind of workouts or exercises to, keep my legs strong and to be able, to just practice my breathing and get my lungs ready for the season. I don't love running, but I do run. I do bike, boxing, whatever gets your heart rate, elevated and going. And yeah, I think it's just like being active. I know I have to do more. I hate going to the gym, but I do need to get, like my muscles stronger. So I am trying to get back on more strengthening exercises and stuff like that.
So you have a workshop. You have a surf photography workshop. Tell me a little bit more about that one.
Yeah. Well, so last year, there was this girl that was like, "Hey, I want to learn from you. You should do workshops." And I wasn't sure, I hate talking, in front of people, and it's just, I get stage fright. And so I was like, I don't know, about teaching and giving workshops. And she's like, "Yeah, you should do it." So I was like, okay, fine. So I did one small one in Mexico, and I was like, okay, I guess I could do this. Well, I did another one in November in Ericeira because this girl was like, okay, I'll help you plan it. Just come and do it here. And that way I could learn. So at the end, it came out good. And we were like, okay, maybe we can plan more. And now we're like business partners in that. And so she's like, let's just do one in Spain. And so what I do, and I think it's working, is like, I like to give or like ask someone to come and give the apnea or the dynamic apnea first, and that way I can see the level of the people that are gonna take the workshop, is like how well prepared they are to be in the water, in the waves, and like what we need to work with each one of them. And so we do that for like the first thing, when we start. And then we do theory, and we try to do at least 2 practices in the ocean, with waves and surfers and everything. And we also see post-production and, some other kind of training, either on land or in the water, but just to complement the whole thing. So for now, it's been going great. I think it's very complete. It like teaches you a lot of, the swimming techniques that I've, learned through the years or improvised. Some tricks and tips on how to use your camera with your housing, positioning, what photographies, I don't give the basics. I always ask people to know how to use their own equipment. And, it's like, I'm not going to teach swimming because, if you have never swum before, then I'm not going to get you in the water. And big on safety. And so, yeah, I like to give some of that as well, or ask someone to give us, as like someone that's prepared for that, how to do the rescue and safety. So yeah, it's mainly
nice. Can you give us 3 tips on becoming a big wave surf photographer?
Training. Training, I would say, is the best one. It's like, you cannot just expect to swim in big waves if you have never, been in, like, used to that. And it's crazy. I've seen it, it's like these people can be so good. Even like my swim mates, it's like they swim and they probably were better at me at swimming in the pool. They're never going to go in the big waves, because it's different. The ocean is different and you have to be prepared for that. And so train not just physically, but I guess also mentally, because you can have a panic attack in the ocean and then you're not going to be able to make it, you have to be able to control that. So training is a big one, would be my first. Second one would be to love that, love what you do and have a passion about it. Because trust me, you're not gonna become a millionaire doing this. So you have to do it for the love of it, and with passion. And I think most things in life, if you don't put love and passion into it, you're not gonna be that good. It's like, yeah, you're probably gonna, complete your quota or whatever, but it's gonna show. And for me, photography is art, and with art, you are showing what you're feeling. So if you have love and passion for it, it's gonna show in your photos. So that would be my second. And then my third one is to keep going. It's like in life, you have so many things, against you, or even people that are going to be like, why are you doing this? And so I guess perseverance is always the key. So that would be my third one.
I like that. That's pretty powerful. You can use it in all your facets of life.
Everything, yeah.
Can you give me a myth versus a reality about what you do?
The people that have no idea about surfing, they always ask you, how do you get those photos? Are you in a surfboard? So, if you have no idea about surfing, they always think you're in a surfboard taking the photos. So I guess that would be a myth. I'm not in a surfboard. I'm swimming with my fins.
Yeah, not a surfer, guys. No surfboards.
Yeah, no surfboards. I mean, there's a few surf photographers that have done it, and they like literally drop in behind the surfer and they catch the point of view, and it's amazing shots. I don't think I would ever be able to do it. And they usually end up hitting it. They always end up getting caught in the barrel, but that's it. But I guess the shot is worth it. I'm not good of a surfer to take those photos. So
what would be your dream outcome for your career?
To be able to keep doing this for as long as my body allows it, to chase big waves and be economically stable, like not be stressing about not having money. Because, I'm a freelance, so it comes and goes in waves. So I don't know if it means that maybe having, sponsors that I can count on, is like money that I can count on month by month. So it will allow me to keep doing this for as long as I can. I guess my body can.
There's definitely a lot of rewards apart from from the monetary stuff. You are actually a healthy person. You're in the water. You're exercising. So it's also a form of wealth. I would think just being able to go outside and not be stuck in an office all day,
for sure.
and like being in the ocean and seeing the sun and being around people. So, to me that's what this podcast and my company is all about. It's about sharing the love of the outdoor and reconnecting with our nature through games, through sports, through activities and social activities, right? And when the first time that was introduced to big wave surfing, to me as an editor, which is like the most isolated position you can ever be in big wave surfing. You know what I mean? Like totally disconnected. But every time I work on a project, I fall in love with the characters. I fall in love with the action, and to me, it was really inspiring. My first movie that I made, documentary, was on Nazaré and on the Red Chargers, which is Garrett McNamara's team, and this is 2016. So this is like the first batch of people going to the waves.
Yeah.
And after doing that, I fell in love with the sport, and I've been trying always to connect with it and trying to share that love and that inspiration that people can create out of tackling these huge monsters. So
Yeah.
thanks to people like you, we get to be inside the action and share the love for surfing. Is there anything that you wish to tell your audience now they're listening to you about big wave surfing or surfing in general?
I always have a hard time explaining or putting, a lot of things into words. And now I know why I'm a photographer. I guess a lot of my, language is to express through images or like photos and videos. So I think even kind of like the photography that I do is very real. It's like I don't like editing it as much, and I'm not as artistic either. It's like very real, or what I'm like seeing and experiencing. So I think most of like what I want to tell the people, it's mostly through my photos. But yeah, I guess big wave surfing, it's getting more traction nowadays, or more visibility, than it used to have. And I think it's thanks to Nazaré and like all the TV shows that are around that. But I guess it's also almost another sport, it's like the difference between towing surfing, like the rope and the jet skis, and the paddling of big waves. So I guess that difference has to be a little bit like shared more, so people that don't really surf understand like the big difference. It's like so much physical that goes into paddling into big waves, and it's just you and the ocean. And then with tow and surfing, it's just about the whole team and relying on your equipment and all this other things. So even though both sports are in the water, waves, and but they're like so different. And even though both of them are cold surfing, I feel like they're two complete sports.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm going to put this out there for you. I want to go to Nazaré, and I want to go with you guys, and I want to see what we can capture. I want to make a big project about Nazaré and maybe the surfers that are out there, and I'm putting this out to the universe. I want you to come with me and teach me everything you know about surfing in Nazaré. If you guys also like to join her program, I want to do it at some point. I love to get in the water. I haven't done the two things at the same time, so it would be really exciting. And I really want to go to Portugal to experience all of this.
In November, I might have another, I'm working on it. We don't have all the details yet, but I'm working with another photographer actually from Switzerland to have another workshop. This one is going to be from land, like photography from land, and just capture the huge waves. And we're going to probably give an option of, if someone wants to shoot from the ski, we're going to give that option as well. So it's going to be cool.
Okay. Well, hey guys, this is all the time that we have for today. Thanks, Maria Fernanda, for coming in to the Brandventures for the second time, because this is a retake of an older version. Yeah. But I love to hear you guys' comment. I want you guys to reach out to us, subscribe to the channel, reach out to Maria Fernanda if you're interested in and doing this course. And yes, that's all the time that we got for the Brandventures, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for having me.
GP5, production for adventurous brands.